let's talk about this Ja Morant thing because that's breaking news. I feel bad for the man. He's like around our age, and it just seems like I think that most people feel like how I do, just that he's a young rising star. He's getting money.
Right.
He's getting fame. He's getting endorsements, commercials, shoe deals, all this type of shit. And for him to be kind of in a way throwing his life away by trying to be out here almost willing to catch a case. I mean, he's in Memphis. So Tennessee, you know, their gun laws are probably different, but the man was fucking brandishing a weapon on social media, bro. Like, you don't need to be doing all that. You worth tens of millions of dollars, fam.
He looked like he was off a bean too.
He was definitely intoxicated, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, some dudes just want to throw their lives away. But I think it's true that like people who just get money like that, not necessarily overnight. I mean, he hustled for that. But like people who just were not used to that kind of money, they lose their way. And there's no type of planning involved because you can't be planning for a long, fruitful, wealthy future and you're doing stuff like that.
I just don't know why he would try to fuck his money up like that, bro. The man, so he's gotten suspended for 2 games. He is probably going to have a talk with the actual commissioner of the NBA. And the NBA, as an association, is probably going to have something to say to Ja Morant or have something that he needs to do in order to, you know, get some recourse for whatever his actions were. But on top of that, like, what is this going to say to like Nike? Or is he with Nike or who is he with? Adidas, whoever his shoe dealer is with. Like your endorsements and all this type of shit. What is that going to say to them? Like, how are you going to rep our brand and you out here fucking...
We're a family, E for everyone. Like, we want the kids buying our shoes all the way up to the elderly buying our shoes.
It looked like he was throwing up gang signs.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
you know, we're a family-friendly brand. We can't have a guy throwing up guns and gang signs.
But like I said,
messing up your money, man. Come on. Like, a shoe deal? Do you know how much wealthy you would get off that? Especially over time, over time. You know, and then you invest that money. By the time you retire, Jesus Christ.
People in the NBA have been blackballed in the NBA for much, much less than this. I mean, the thing that's most familiar that everybody's talking about, this kind of reminds us of Gilbert Arenas. You know about Gilbert Arenas, the dude who brought the gun to the locker room?
I've heard that name before. Yes.
That was way back. But obviously we know about that. But like there's people just get in a fight or some shit or just like some random shit off the court. You know, Lamar Odom had his like drug thing, right? Like people have been blackballed for less in the NBA, bro. Like don't fucking play around with your money. You're a young upcoming star. People look at you like the top talent, like a top talent, a possible top 5 talent in the league.
Going to replace the old guard, like the Currys and the LeBrons.
Yeah, exactly. And you out here just doing pretend shit. You know, because people, I mean, I don't know if there's any facts to it. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but people are out here talking about how, I always say that people are out here. Who's people? No, but they're out here talking
on
about
Twitter.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, basically that's what it is. Like Twitter has been exposing the fact that he doesn't necessarily come from like the quote unquote trenches, the quote unquote struggle. Like he had a pretty nice upbringing. So I don't really imagine that this was his, like we were just talking about with Eminem in the trenches and shit. Like I don't imagine that was his upbringing.
But what is it? It seems like an insecurity. There are a lot of guys who come up.
For black people especially, I think that's what it is.
But it just seems like specifically, that's true. It definitely seems like that where it's like, you know, you ain't black enough or whatever. You
don't have edge.
Michael B. Jordan. Why do you need an edge, though?
Because we black and it's just like, I don't know what that is.
That's not, I can't say that because most of the black people I know are just normal, middle class, everyday working people who don't have an edge, don't need an edge. That's the majority of black people I've ever met in my life, honestly.
Same.
And I know a lot of black people. But there are some that are just like, grew up in a nice neighborhood and just like, gotta be hard, gotta act tough, gotta hang on, gotta be a thug. Now I met some, that's like on one hand, out of the hundreds of black people I met in my life. I'm like, what is that insecurity about? Why do you need that? Clearly, he has that same thing. Like I've seen it before.
I think that it's just an edge that seems cool. I mean, that sounds really simple to say, but I think that whatever that edginess is, because I'm sure other cultures have that same thing in whatever their community is. For black people, it just happens to be the streets. I don't know. We associate it with rap. We associate it with hip hop. You know, they get women, they get money. drug dealers, they get women, they get money.
So he idolized it. He idolized it because I never idolized rap, and I love rap music, but I don't idolize the bullshit. You know what I mean?
I would like to get like some of the rappers. Like I would like to be wearing the nice clothes and shit like that. That's what the NBA players do. I mean, we already know like NBA players are associated with the hip hop culture.
Right.
We already been knowing that. I mean, the NBA literally has like hip hop artists that perform at like the All-Star game, in the middle of the commercial breaks and shit like that. So we already know that's a part of the image of the NBA and shit like that. So that's okay. But for you to be out here kind of like, I don't want to say committing crimes because he's not, I mean, I don't know though. Because then another story that's been coming out, which is like more rumors, more accusation, is that he was at the fucking some mall around his area beating up teenagers and shit like that, brandishing weapons at teenagers and shit.
My thing is just like, why though?
Well,
like,
first of all, we don't know if that's true.
We don't know that's true. But if we're assuming, we're going to assume that we're going to entertain the possibility, right?
Rumors, rumors, they probably have a little bit of validity to them.
Like with Kodak, Kodak's another example. This man has beaten
hood rat.
Man's a straight hood rat, but like man has beaten and see he's different because he seems like he actually is from the trenches. But I'm like, you're getting that kind of money and you still need to commit crimes or like whole Young Thug thing. I don't know enough about it, but let's just say maybe they were doing some stuff they shouldn't do. It's like you're Thugger, you are Thugger. You don't have to do that.
Yeah,
you don't have to do that.
Especially if it isn't even in your genes. Like it's not even in your makeup to be doing that shit. Like it seems like he's trying to play gangster. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. But and why? I think most people would agree with that.
It's like you playing right into the hand of people who want to see you fall. It's like easy. It's just easy. It's like dude's playing gangster, hip hop police on his ass. You in jail.
And I just feel bad for the man, bro. I just feel bad for him. Like I hope it doesn't sound like I'm accosting him. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm being too harsh on him or anything like that. Because that's not exactly what I'm trying to do necessarily. I just, if he were to ever hear this podcast, he won't. But I would just hope he would hear it and just feel like, yeah, maybe there is some other ways I could go about. Like he ended up deleting his social media, but I don't know if he put it in a social media post, but he responded to it because he got suspended and shit like that. And he was talking about how he's going to go about other ways of, dealing with the stress or whatever the matter is. He apologized, took full responsibility and shit. Like, obviously you got to take full responsibility. Like, nigga, you're the only one in the video. Like, we're talking about you. So
right.
Obviously you're responsible fully, but he probably just needs to, I don't know. He just needs to figure out a different way of.
He needs a life coach. He needs somebody, a mentor, an older NBA dude needs to pull him aside and say, hey man, let's get this real money. Let's stop playing games. Like, why throw away, probably potentially even billionaire status because you want to play children games. You want to run around and act like you're something you're not, and you have an opportunity to make some real money. Let's flex on people. Let's buy stocks in real estate. Let's, you know what I mean? Like let's flex like that. I bought the commercial property. I own all the, and I rent out all the businesses there. Like, but people don't think that's not gangster. But I think it needs to be gangster to get these guys on board. Yeah,
I mean that's G code to me.
That's gangster to me.
Yeah,
you pulled up and just bought it in cash.
That's what I look up to personally. That's what I look up to.
You should be leveraging to a certain extent, but like some dudes are just like, I want to own it, and you got your cash flow
fuck
so
up
high.
The fucking money, trying to fuck up the cash for his family, his friends. You're not gonna be able to put nobody on anymore.